Y'all, this is spiritual. I'm not playing. She had to come back. She had to come back because I created the order. I'm an alchemist. I change the energy wherever I go. It's okay, I can be wrong, but I'm righteous right now. I'm not trying to be right. I'm here to be righteous. So check game. To answer your question, the rules ain't the same for everybody in dating. The rules ain't the same. You think Chris Brown, old lady, saying something about him slobbing motherfuckers down on the concert floor? No. The rules ain't the same in dating for everybody. If you got more money, if you got more status, if you got more looks, I get away with more than the ugly nigga that it worked 9 to 5. It is what it is. Why do we have to pray like we crazy? If you got a bunch of followers on the ground, if you got a bunch of money or a bunch of people know you, the rules are not the same.
Facts.
I land my plane.
I personally think that even when you're speaking about like your divine order, and I think this is the mishap, right? Because we had a whole bunch of people clapping when he's like, oh, you see how she had to come back to the king. Let me tell you this, sometimes a king know how to shut up, to let his woman have a moment where she's not quite, where she's, hold on though, when she's off her, when she don't really know what's really going on, she hasn't really gathered her words, and guess what, doesn't need an announcement. Okay, it doesn't need you see how you had to come back. And this type of behavior is why a lot of women are rah-rah. A lot of women are being the man. A lot of women are masculine. A lot of women are defensive, because this just interaction where I thought we had created this unity, you took a moment of me needing to pause and think to take over this audience. It's not necessary.
It's not that he needed a moment for you to pause and think to quote unquote take over the audience. It's that you didn't have anything at all. You have no answer when she asked that question. And he realized that you were struggling, and he saved you from looking like a fool. Instead of thanking him for saving you from looking like a fool, you want to act as if you had this profound thing you were coming up with, and he interrupted that. And that's not the case. That is not correct. Hello guys, this is Joseph with Joseph Teaches Power Dynamics. This video right here had me on 10. I'm excited today to bring to you one of my favorite videos that I just discovered on the internet. This video is absolutely bonkers. There's a lot of things that I am seeing here that I think is going to be crazy to break down and analyze. So the video is coming from, it's called Talk Less Show. Talk Less Show. The name of the video is Dream Come Through, the first ever Talk Less Show live experience birthday edition. Now, there's a segment in the video that's going viral. A lot of content creators, or at least big commentary channels, are talking about it, right? I'm gonna break it down because it has a lot to do with power dynamics when it comes to men and women, male and female relationships. I'm going to say this: if you're somebody that absolutely wants to understand a man's role and a woman's role in relationships, this is a fantastic video for you to watch and learn from. I'm going to break down the video. I'm going to give you guys my power dynamics point of view as well as my personal point of view. I hope you can learn from both of them. And I want you to watch with the mindset to understand what's going on and what are some nuances that I'm picking up on. I'm going to analyze the people that are in the video and give my prediction or my estimation of how their life is outside of the camera. And then also I'm going to, as I go through the video, I'm going to kind of, stop it and show some key nuances that may be missed, especially when it comes to other content creators. If you're somebody that likes the way I break these videos down, I want you to like the video, support the channel, subscribe, leave a comment behind, hype the video. Let's push for 10,000 subscribers. Let's grow this community together, and I will see you in the video. Let's get started.
Let's talk about dating. And you know what? I like to talk about my experiences with dating. When I date, one thing that bothers me the most is when people don't talk to me. If a man does not respond to me for 2 days or 3 days, or doesn't call me for 2 days, it's a problem. And a lot of
Why she gotta say that? Come on, man. If a man doesn't call you for 2 to 3 days, it is not a problem. Sometimes it's all in your head. Maybe the guy's waiting for you to initiate. Maybe the guy's waiting on you to do something. Man.
People are gonna say he don't like you. And I go crazy because the moment that happens, I just say I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. I'm not even gonna try because I can't.
Is there a question there?
Well, that's just my experience, so I don't know. What would you advise me as a dating coach?
Well, I think your initial perspective of that is probably true. I always say like men don't take their hands off of things that they want and people that they like. So your initial perspective of like, he's probably not that into me is you're probably on to something there, but it's like your response matters a whole lot.
I freak out and I get upset and I get annoyed, and then down the road I get heartbroken because it's always a pattern.
But that's it's because you revealed your hand. Men don't understand women that are not emotionally explosive. So if you know how to control your emotions, which is what I teach women to do, but they don't have anything to read. So like now they're the one that's kind of floating around.
Explain that.
So
Oh man, oh my gosh. I have already identified some issues with what she's saying, and I did not want to do this to you guys. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold back my feedback and I'm going to let these two women talk, and then I'm going to give some feedback information that I picked up on, especially with this lady in front of me right here. I'm going to give some true amazing feedback for both the two women. But let's continue. I don't want you guys to feel as though I'm interrupting too early. I'm gonna watch the rest of it until I get to a certain portion, and then I'm gonna give some feedback based on the things that I have observed.
when a man does not he cannot read how you feel about something. I always say any man that ever dated me, they don't know why we broke up. Like they literally don't know what happened, right? Like there's no like, yeah, you did. They don't have anything to read from, and I honestly I feel like they're always the ones to come back because it literally piques their interest. And so when somebody is ignoring you or they're not responding to you, you flipping out and saying like, oh, this is over, now they know exactly kind of what's going on. Like if you were to be a little bit more poised and controlled and really just been more of a like, okay, if you do, you do, if you don't, you don't, like men are actually more interested in that.
Oh, okay. So when I talk about me freaking out and flipping out, that's not to them. It's like me emotionally inside.
But I always say that like men are like a TSA German Shepherd. You ever been at the airport and that dog is like running through? Like they can smell it off of you. It doesn't matter if you're not expressing it to them. They can smell it no matter what. Like they can smell it from across the room that you are internally freaking out. And so I always call it like the post-it note princesses that are like, I am smart, I am beautiful. If you don't believe it, that shit does not work. Like men could sniff that you have low self-esteem, that you're vibrating low, that you will let them violate your boundaries, that you're not gonna stand on business. It takes a millisecond for them to know that, and you cannot get it past them.
That is crazy. I've never even heard that concept before.
Me neither. I have never heard of men being referred to as dogs that are at the airport with TSA. I've never heard of that being attributed to men. I think what I'm picking up on with this lady and this lady right here is that these two women have different experiences with men and deal with different types of men. The type of men that she deals with, lady right here on my screen, are men who play games. Because she only deals with men who play games, she feels as though this is just the nature of men. Men are going to play games all the time, and so, in order for you to get the man that you want, you got to play games too. But she's not understanding the type of game she's supposed to be playing. She's trying to play the game the same way a man would, but not realizing that that's not how the game works if you're trying to be with a man. If you're trying to be with a woman, that game that she just said about not showing your emotions, holding things back, all those things. That game is great if you're trying to get a woman. If you're trying, but if you're trying to get a man, it's not going to work because the man would have been moved on. The man would have been gone to the other woman that's showing a lot more interest, right? So now with her, she seems more the woman that will put in the most work at the beginning of getting to know the man, pulling the man in. But it seems as though once she gets the man, she puts in less work to keep the man, or she starts to slack off on some of the things that she was doing to get the man. So what do I mean by this? A lot of women think that once they get the man, the only thing they really need to do is provide him with sexual activities and maybe, cook for him or clean or something like that, right? But what a lot of women don't understand is it's the little nuanced behavior that you used to do when you first got the man, right? It's the little giggles. It's the little way you cut up the food. It's the little small little things that you do for the guy that makes the biggest difference, right? If you were doing all that plus more to secure the guy, I'm not saying that you have to do the same all the way through, but you have to have something within the things you used to do that you consistently do as part of the arrangement. Think of the marriage as a contract. If I came into the marriage doing a certain type of thing for you, I need to at least retain at least one, two, or three of those qualities, even if I let the rest of them go. I think a lot of women, they let stuff go that they were doing for the man, and it causes the friction and hence the separation. So I think she's one of those women that when she puts in most of the work to secure the guy at the beginning, and then once she secure the guy, then either she talks too much or doesn't do enough. The guy gets tired of it and gives her some space, and then she freaks out and ends it. That's what I think it is.
Revealed your hand. Men don't understand women that are not emotionally explosive. So if you know how to control your emotions, which is what I teach women to do, they don't have anything to read. So like now they're the one that's kind of floating around.
Explain that.
So when a man does not, he cannot read how you feel about something. I always say any man that ever dated me, they don't know why we broke up. Like they literally don't know what happened, right? Like there is no like, yeah, you did.
This woman is out here creating traumatized men. These men go in here thinking that they have a good read on her, a good relationship dynamics with her, only to find out on this particular podcast that they've been played because she's out here hiding her emotions from these men, and these men not even knowing why they broke up.
They don't have anything to read from, and I honestly I feel like they're always the ones to come back because it literally piques their interest. And so when somebody is ignoring you or they're not responding to you, you flipping out and saying like, oh, this is over, now they know exactly kind of what's going on. Like if you were to be a little bit more poised and controlled and really just been more of a like, okay, if you do you do, if you don't you don't, like men are actually more interested in that.
Oh, okay. So when I talk about me freaking out and flipping out, that's not to them. It's
This woman does not know men like that. She knows a specific type of man. She only knows the player guy. She don't know the regular guy. Like it's like imagine if you were someone that played basketball your whole life, right? And then all of a sudden you went out to the real world after you ended your basketball career, and then you expect every man that you meet to have basketball tendencies, right? Or you expect them to just think the way you and your squad of basketball players think. I think that's what's going on here. This is a woman who dealt with men who play games. So she now attributes that to all men. I said this is how all men are, not realizing that she's only talking about the men who play games, the ones who play with your emotions. Not all men are like this. So she's definitely wrong.
like me emotionally inside.
But I always say that like men are like a TSA German Shepherd. You ever been at the airport and that dog is like running through? Like they can smell it off of you. It doesn't matter if you're not expressing it to them. They can smell it no.
It does matter. It does matter that you are expressing it to them. Men, like everything she says, think of the opposite. Whatever she says, do the opposite. That's what I'll tell any woman. Whatever it is that she's saying, do the opposite. Be yourself. That's the biggest thing. Find a way to still be yourself. I would say find a way to still be yourself, even with the man. Especially be yourself. Be yourself in a way that is helping the both of you, not be yourself in a way that's toxic. So be yourself and be honest with the man in terms of who you are and what you're looking for. Give him the choice to choose. And I say the same thing for the man. Like, man, be honest, be yourself. Give her the choice to choose you for you, not for whatever it is that you were presenting to her.
Matter what, like they can smell it from across the room that you are internally freaking out. And so I always call it like the post-it note princesses that are like, I am smart, I am beautiful. If you don't believe it, that does not work. Like men could sniff that you have low self-esteem, that you're vibrating low, that you will let them violate your boundaries, that you're not going to stand on business. It takes a millisecond for them to know that, and you cannot get it past them.
That is crazy. I've never even heard that concept before. Because I thought like maybe if I'm freaking out, it's more, oh, he wouldn't know. I'm just going to play it cool. But then internally, I'm like, I'm going through it.
But it's in everything that you do. Like, it's in the way that you respond back. It's in your text messages. It's in your aura when you see him the next time. Like, they always know. Like, they know that something's wrong with you. Yeah.
Oh, my. Stevie, you laughing. Come on here. I need you on here. Stevie Bags, y'all. Stevie Bags. Give it up for Stevie Bags. I need him on the panel.
I'm going to disagree with everything that she said about men always know what's wrong with you. That's not correct. The only time a man ever knows what's really wrong with you is if you tell him. You carrying these heavy emotions on top of you, or you not carrying anything at all, if you don't communicate with that man, he would never really know. All he can do is estimate and guess. She is making the process even harder for women to truly get the right guy, because the guys they're going to get are game players, because she doesn't want women to express themselves. So when you're not expressing yourself, you're playing a man's game. When you play a man's game and you're not a man, you will lose. It's weird, but men and women have different psychological psychological wiring, different brain wiring. What, because men are wired a certain type of way, certain games that she's teaching women to play is going to be harder for a woman to play it than it is for a man. Like she's basically saying, don't show your emotions to a man, don't let him see you sweat. That's how men think naturally. A man thinks that way when it comes to dating a woman. So he's going to do that. If a woman does that, when you have two people that are doing the same type of thing, eventually what's going to happen is they're going to get with each other and be uncomfortable. They'll feel kind of bored, especially the woman will feel bored. The man may never feel bored. Like when a man realizes that you are a certain way, he accepts it. But if he realizes that you've been faking it, he's out.
Oh, my. Stevie, you laughing. Come on here. I need you on here. Stevie Bags, y'all. Stevie Bags. Give it up for Stevie Bags. I need him on the panel. Because, Stevie, why are you laughing? Come talk to us.
Les, I'm rejoicing.
Okay.
To hear a woman talk like that is rejoice. For real.
Okay.
Because, I mean, we live in a world where everything is inverted. Men are acting like women and women act like men. And the only reason the women are in fight or flight state is because men ain't showing up. So it's an order.
I didn't know where this was going, so I'm like, hey.
It's an order.
I didn't know which way this was going. I'm somebody who has a pretty solid platform, and so I'm like, my analytics are probably 98% women, and the men that are following me, I mean, it's so much hate mail. So I don't know you at all. So I didn't know where this was going. So
yeah, I just go out the spirit, and I ain't talking about the Holy Ghost.
Okay, so I know Stevie is about to cook her, but before he cooks her, let me kind of hit a few things that I'm picking up on right now, right? When it comes to the whole situation, right? S- Steve is basically seeing what she said as women need to control themselves. Women need to not let their emotions run them. Women need to not let their emotions get the best of them, especially when it comes to the men that they want. That's how Steve is seeing it. So I think in Steve's mind, they're on the same page. But he's gonna soon learn that they're not on the same page at all.
True, genuine divinity. So when you really look at the way the world is right now, the only reason that woman got to put her stick out is because the man ain't pulled his out yet.
Amen to that.
But it don't look like what society told you it looked like. So don't clap too fast.
Okay, okay.
Because protection and provision is not just about my finances or about my brute strength. Protection and provision is spiritual. Hey, baby, don't eat that today. Hey, don't get no gas coming home late because your car running out of gas. Don't stop at no gas station. Get my truck tomorrow and then we'll get it straight. That's protection and provision. It ain't always about him having money, because a lot of women make more money than the average man right now today, especially in the melanated community.
That's false. That's false. Don't believe that part. That part is made up. That part is made up. That's not correct. In society in general, in all community, men have always made, and men will continue to always make more money than women. The reason why is because men don't have the psychological burden that women carry. Women carry children, women have maternity leaves, women have emotional swings, especially when it comes to having the period. So, like, what he's saying about women making more money than men, especially when it comes to the melanated community, that's wrong. That's not correct. What it is that women tend to express a lot more of what they're doing. Men express less. For example, a woman who's making $100,000 a year would tell everyone that she's making $100,000 a year. A man making $100,000 a year would not tell anybody that unless he was asked. So, for example, if a man is making 200,000, 500,000, 50,000, whatever the amount the man is earning, he's not inclined to broadcast it. While in a lot of cases, women are encouraged to broadcast it. So either way, it doesn't mean women make more money than men. It just means that men are more likely to keep it a secret, while women are more likely to share it and let everyone know that they're making that kind of money.
How you want a boss brother? A boss don't mean he got a lot of money. It means he's a being of supreme status.
A being of supreme status. Well, he's not wrong. A lot of men are bigger, stronger, and taller than a lot of women. So yeah.
No, I live real good, Queen. I'm living this, and you can feel it on my aura. It's authentic. It's genuine. I don't gotta be accepted by now one of y'all, cause your opinion of me ain't none of my business. The best speech I'ma give is the life I live. Now you go look at my fruits, and you'll see what's going on. And it don't mean that I'm flawless. It means that I'm authentic. I can be authentic in my righteousness, and I can be authentic in my wickedness, because we got all of it. But people don't want to talk about that, because people want to talk about relationships. How can you have a relationship when you don't even motherfucking relate?
Bars. Bars. That is fire. That was so good. Mr. Stevie Baggs, that was very, very good, man. How can you have relationship if you can't even relate? Yeah, that's definitely on point.
Tasia, I need you to respond.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick analysis of everybody so far. Now I already know I've watched the video, so I kind of can do the analysis. So based on how everything is looking, I would say that he's the dominant individual, right? I would say that she's more challenging authority type of woman, so she wants to go neck and neck with a man in terms of dominancy. And then she seems more also dominant to me, but she seems more cooperative than dominance. So she might cooperate with you at the beginning stages of the relationship, but she may start to try to switch to try to dominate later on. It could be because she's tall. It could be because she may be what is considered a tomboy growing up. Just she gives me an energy of I'm a woman who is trying to embrace or working on embracing being more submissive to a man, even though I'm not always submissive. That's the energy that she's giving me. But let's continue. Man, this is about to get hot, so let's see how it goes.
Well,
Okay.
I do think that there are some things that men are held to a societal standard that like they do have to have money, they do have to be a provider,
No, men do not have to have money. Men do not have to be provider.
that they have to be rich and things like that. And one thing
Men do not have to be rich.
I always tell women is like, girl, you are not Lori Harvey. You are not about to wake up to a house full of roses because your man is not Future. Okay, like it's not gonna happen. So I think that there's very realistic things, but I also think that when a man is financially troubled, it will come out in the relationship. So I think that where a man is financially is relative, right? Somebody making 75K a year could be relative to somebody, but I think that if a man is not in the place that he wants to be financially, that's just like not it's never a good idea.
I strongly disagree. I strongly disagree. I strongly disagree. So what she should have said is if a man is confident in his ability to earn more money, that's a good thing. If he's not confident, that's a bad thing. She switched the idea of understanding men. So for a woman who claims to understand how men move, she's not understanding how men think. Men don't care about money. Men care about what money brings. To a man, it's not the money he's making a year that's the problem. It's the things that he can do is the problem, or things that he cannot do, right? If a man i- if a man wants to have access to traveling the world, buying multiple homes, buying the kind of cars of his dreams, creating a life for himself and his family, he will use the money as a vehicle to get there. So when a woman says a man who's not making enough money is insecure, that's inaccurate because the money that he's making could be the money that he's satisfied with making because he may have given him the exact life that he wants. Just because his life is not as extravagant as you want it to be does not mean that the man had not thought about that life as something that he's comfortable with. So a man's finances should not is not an indication of his security or insecurity. A man's confidence in terms of what he can do with the money, that's what that lies. Some men don't even want to make that much money because they feel as though they might get overwhelmed by all the options that comes with making that kind of money.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I just don't want. We just can't make anything tangible
The priority.
the priority, right? Because my bank account might say one thing, but my spiritual account might say something different.
Yeah,
So-
but that's
so,
the thing. You all don't have enough resources and enough network and community because to the black folk that are in here, we don't have enough men that are standing up and saying like, hey,
Did she just cut him off? It sounds like she just cut him off. You see, I'm picking up on some problems here. This is a woman who would not allow the man to finish what he's saying. She just jumps in and starts talking over him. Yep, I see why she's single. I see why she sees men as players. I see why she sees men as a problem. I see why she sees men as this this um this player energy, and she's trying to become player energy too.
like before I was able to leave my wife and my family, I submitted first. You don't hear
What did she just say about this submit? Oh, wait, hold on a second.
of network and community because to the black folk that are in here, we don't have enough men that are standing up and saying like, hey, like before I was able to leave my wife and my family, I submitted first.
Submitted first? Are you insinuating something that I don't know about, ma'am? What about this? What about if they submit and then go ahead and buy themselves a dress and a skirt and become a woman? You can't just throw that out there all casually thinking that it's all cool.
You don't hear a lot of men saying that. So then you see the men that are seeing the NFL players, they're seeing the rappers, they're seeing all these athletes online, and their first thought is to like get money first, and then they have no clue how to actually lead and submit to a woman. Sometimes it's not about, we talked about hormones and her attitude and all of those things earlier today. Like sometimes it's like, hey, like you have to figure out whether this is a battle worth fighting. And I don't think that some men, not all, some men have an example of what it looks like to even submit to that woman. Like for some people, that is a crazy statement that submission is a part of commitment in a relationship.
Yeah, I think
That's right. It is a crazy statement. Men learning to submit to their woman. Crazy statement. Crazy, crazy statement. She does not know what she's talking about. Men should not submit to their women. Men can cooperate with the woman, but submission to the woman is not okay. It is the recipe for failure and recipe for disaster. It's so crazy to me that these women come up with what they see as a solution to dating men who are players and then attributing those player qualities to all men, but not taking the time to really learn the other men. She only knows players. So that's why she could talk like this, because a lot of the men she deals with are players. And I'm not talking about like, I'm not talking about players in terms of sports. I'm talking players in terms of the game of romance.
maybe just semantics, but you might do something better than me, right? And so I can acquiesce, but I never submit to no woman, never. Cause you know why? Because it's not even in the order of anything natural.
But God told you to. That's what we
No,
keep forgetting.
I did not tell you to submit to a woman. That is nowhere to be found.
I don't know if God told me to or the Bible told people to, but God gave me a natural order. Now what they put in the Bible or in the Talmud, the Torah or the Quran or whatever, man wrote that too.
But see, that's the thing. The natural order for a man to submit, it doesn't mean that you're less than. It doesn't mean that you're number two. It means that you're prioritizing who's the best person for that moment in that second, right?
The line.
She cuts him off and repeats what she said. The truth of the matter is, a man submitting to you means that he is less than you. You cannot have both of them. You have to choose one or the other. You're either submitting or you're dominating. You can't have both. If you're submitting to a woman, you're being dominated by that woman. I think what she's doing is she's projecting herself out in terms of what she wants. This is not what women want. This is not what women need. This is what she wants. She wants a man that's going to submit to her, but yet she wants a man that is established. So she's going after men who are players with a mentality of thinking that she has to be like the men, and then she wants those men to now submit to her. Can you imagine that? You going after players, but then you want the same players to submit to you. It don't work. If a man is a player, if he's over here getting a bunch of women, he's not gonna submit to a woman, especially a woman who wants him to submit. Men shouldn't be submitting to women. I think what she may be messing up at is she's using submit the incorrect way. It's not submit when it comes to cooperation. It's not submit when it comes to delegation. It's not submit when it comes to making sure there's peace in the home. You don't need to submit to have what you want as a man, but as a woman, you need to submit because that is within nature. And that's also part of respecting the man when it comes to his abilities. If he makes more money than you, if he has the home established comfortably, whatever it is that he has set in place, you as a woman need to come in and submit to the man, but not the other way around.
That is what that actually means. It doesn't mean you're lower. It doesn't mean that I'm wearing the pants today. It doesn't mean any of that. It
Absolutely
means that
not.
you are the one that has enough knowledge and wisdom, which is what I'm leaning on. You have the provision. You have the discernment to say, you know what? There you go. That's you right there. That is actually what it means.
And
to
I
lead
said
and submit.
I have no problem acquiescing to the lioness being the hunter. The lioness is the hunter. That's what you do, babe. You hunt. I fucking kill. It's a difference. There's always a
Bars. 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 Let me put that again.
I have no problem acquiescing to the lioness being the hunter. The lioness is the hunter. That's what you do, babe. You hunt. I fucking kill. It's a difference. There's always an order. It's the reason why you teach the babies to cleave and I teach their ass to leave. It's the reason why your anatomy is inner and mine is outer. You emotion first, ego second. I'm ego first, emotion second. It don't mean that we can't acquiesce inside of that too and have synergy, but when you become divine feminine and when I become divine masculine, now I can limit my ego to hear where you're coming from emotionally. And you can limit your emotions to see where I'm coming from egotistically, and that's called harmony.
But
And that's
also
what we gotta
called
have.
submission.
Huh?
That's called submission.
What?
It is not called submission. She's just waiting to respond. She's only listening to speak. She doesn't care what he's saying. It strikes to me as though she has been traumatized by the men that she's dated in the past, and it's caused her to raise her wall up. And now she's translating all that to submission, saying that only way a man's going to be happy is if he's submitting to his woman, but yet want the man to still be the leader. You cannot be a leader and be the submissive person. You have to take charge when you are in a position of authority. Men, when men are in relationships, men need to take charge, not to submit. The objective is a matter of, like he said, harmony, making sure that we acknowledge what we're good at and lean into those things, not the whole situation of, oh, yes, submit to me in order for it to work.
I'm saying, Queen, the first thing I said was I'm not gonna get caught up on the semantics of that. But I personally, I will never submit to a woman because that's not what the universal God made that to be. Now, I will let a woman do what she does best. Absolutely, baby. If I can take off, I do not want to do no clerical. Please handle that.
Into the semantics, but that's exactly what you're doing. Like what you're describing is legit semantically, verbally, and literally submission. That's exactly what you're describing.
Okay. So
Man, it seems to me as though she has some psychological issues. She might need some therapy. She might need to talk some of these heavy emotional stress that she carries. She might need therapy to offload some of them because she's projecting at this point.
So does it make you feel better? Talking about emotions. If it makes you feel better for me to say, hey, baby, I submit to you on the clerical duties.
Wow.
Does that make you feel better?
Why the sarcasm?
No, I'm saying
the men that know how to submit to their women are living a happy wife, happy life. Everything is well. And that
when men hear her say these nonsense, like she's saying, they look at her and say, "Oh, yeah, she don't know what she's talking about." I think the reason why a man would even try to get with her is because of her appearance. But besides that, everything else that she has is not attractive in terms of the way she's talking, the things that she's talking about. But in terms of physicality, she's attractive.
this bravado
And they might be
of
castrated.
like,
They
oh,
might be
I would never
castrated.
submit to a woman is
Those men are castrated because you will never.
Those men are castrated. That is so funny to me, man. Listen, listen. Those men are castrated emotionally for sure.
Hear a real man say happy wife, happy life. It's happy us to get your ass out the bus.
the real
Period.
man trope is a dangerous conversation.
Period.
And I think as you have like
The men should submit to women trope is a dangerous conversation.
other men in this room, this whole like real man thing it's a very dangerous trope. And you're saying that you're not gonna submit to a woman that you marry because she has wisdom, because she has discernment, because she's gonna because she's going to incubate and multiply anything that you bring to the table, right? That's something that God gave a woman that you'll never have. So when you sit here and you say that you'll never submit, that's a crazy, crazy statement.
So
That is not a crazy statement that you would never submit. It's not a crazy statement. It really isn't. Gosh. She's projecting at this point, man. That's really what it is.
You hear the only people screaming is women, right? So we're gonna,
And
we
we
gonna,
got the niggas that's barking, too.
But no, what I want you to understand is when I was speaking, you had men and women clapping because I'm speaking from a universal perspective, not a masculine or feminine perspective. I'm speaking from the perspective of nature. And guess what? It could be, once again, I could be up here talking conjecture or innuendo, but I came up here to actually pay homage to you because I was rejoicing about what you were saying about how our women have to start holding themselves to a higher standard emotionally. And no matter if the man shows up or not, you are the first teachers of the children. You are the first teachers of the seed. So guess what? No matter what that man do, you still got to be like Big Mama. He went out and had a baby on you. He did all this and do that. You knew who he was before you opened your legs to
But
him.
I think that men need to hear more emotion. Men need to be emotionally more intelligent as well. And the trope that you're projecting in this room right now is very dangerous because when you say that you're not going to submit, it's telling you that you have a deficit, that there's a lack there. And I think that if more men could actually hear other men talking about, hey, I am listening, I am understanding, I am conceding, I am yielding, you'll actually see a lot more men have basically a mutual understanding as well as be happier in relationships. It's not a weak thing. It's not to say that you're not a strong man by saying that there's things that you.
She's basically saying the contradictory statements that are opposing each other. She's saying that a man is not weak, but yet he has to submit. How can you be strong and submit? It don't make sense. You have to be weak in order to submit. You cannot be strong and then submit. It don't make sense. She does not make sense. She's just creating a narrative and a teaching of whatever it is that she's creating. None of it makes sense. None of it makes any sense. None of it makes sense.
Are smart enough to say, my girl got that.
I may be missing
Hold on.
something. I just want to say this, and I'm gonna land my plane. I may be missing something, but I told you I don't have a problem with acquiescing to what you do better than me. I already said that. So how do you want me to say it in another language? If you cook better than me, baby, go tear that fucking kitchen up. But guess what? It's some things that's not necessarily submitting.
What is so problematic about submission to you?
And then I came back.
What is so problematic about that?
Because she's been yapping away and talking so much, I decided to go ahead and look up the definition of submission so that there's no confusion, right? So it says submission is an act or instance of submitting or yielding control to more powerful or authoritative entity. Now, the act or condition of submission sometimes for consideration, approval, treatment, or action. So submission basically means there's a dominant person that is in your life and you submit to that dominant person, or there's a dominant rule, system, or things that are in control, and you submit to those things as a way to obey, support, and grow with that, right? She keeps talking about how a man could dominate women but yet have to submit to the woman. How a man could be stronger than a woman, but yet have to submit to a woman. What she really should be saying instead is how a man should accommodate women, cooperate with women, or even find a way to be on the same mental wavelength as a woman. But she's using the wrong term. Submission does not have anything to do with being strong and submitted. Submission have everything to do with recognizing a more powerful force in your life and submitting to that force.
We have to understand in this life, we do have order, and that's what's going on. Our culture is out of order. We celebrate the wrong things. We talk about the wrong things. And that's why we can't be in harmony with our relationships. We've adopted all these Eurocentric ideals about what love is. You don't love like anybody else. You don't live like anybody else. And you don't look like anybody else. Why do you have to do something that somebody else gave you based on their construct? Start to find out who it is, what your relationship requires for you and your mate, not what everybody in the whole world says. Because at the end of the day, they're okay with Adam and Steve, not Adam and Eve. And ain't nothing wrong with nobody's sexual thing, because we know y'all are try to hang me to the cross about that. But I'm just telling you, that, thank you, my brother. There's something going on right now where we do have to have these conversations. I was celebrating you because I think that if a sister hears from another successful sister about controlling her emotions, then she could be like, dang, I didn't know my baby daddy was dealing with that kind of trauma. That's why he wasn't here. Then he can come back and say, dang, I didn't know my baby mama was molested. That's why she has this kind. These are the things that's going on in our community that we're not talking about. That's why the trauma's there.
Yeah,
that's why the drama's there.
You're actually describing exactly what I'm talking about. And your issue with submission, you're literally describing what I'm saying.
We're still talking about submission.
Okay.
We're still talking about submission because you're harping on this emotional, intelligent component. And I get that and I understand. This actually is a mutual respect. But when you say divine order doesn't have the end in the actual union. That's all I'm trying to explain to you. Is that when you have a relationship with somebody, right, and you're trying to exactly what you described, understand where that person's coming from. Maybe there's triggers that this person had from many moons that has nothing to do with you, but it's coming up. That act of saying, hey, let's sit down and figure out what is going on with you so that we can move forward and we can be in a happier place. Innately, that is submission. So I think that is just
it's just the word.
a difference in how we understand that.
She don't even know what she's talking about. She's still stuck on submission this whole time. She would say anything that she say to bring it back to submission. I think her whole brand is meant to should submit to women. That's why that's the only thing she talks about.
But I think that saying that you would never submit to a woman is just a very dangerous trope. And
Yeah,
I'll die on that hill.
In
Hold
the
up,
context.
guys. Hold up. I
Go
do
ahead,
agree with you.
Did she just say she'll die on that hill? Oh my gosh, when you have a woman who's this level of delusion, it is wild to me. So she must have built the hill herself then. She must have built the hill herself because there's no hill to die on, ma'am. You didn't have anything to die on. What you were saying don't make sense. And it does not make sense. There's no dying on the hill here. You know that when you're dealing with men, men are the dominant. So you came up with this BS thing, this crazy thing, as a way to teach women to control men instead of accepting men for who they are. And that is them being the dominant and you being the submissive to them.
Because, man, this was just a lot of tennis to watch right now. And shout out to y'all.
I didn't know what was going on.
This is real podcast. Okay? I think it's important to acknowledge what you're saying as far as like my relationship is my relationship and there's going to be nobody telling me what to do because I only know my relationship with that person. And that's why it's always an interesting conversation to have when I say, hey, like this person hasn't talked to me for 2-3 days. And then like I do know that there's something going on with the person and I don't know that it's his response to things when he's overwhelmed. Right. When I speak about that on social media, now everybody's saying stop talking to this person because he doesn't like you. Right. So that's why it creates a really, really good it's a discussion, right? And I think let's just answer this one more thing because I think that we really want to talk about dating and maybe if each can say, and we'll wrap it up, one truth about dating that people don't want to hear. What is one truth about dating that people don't want to hear from your perspective and from your perspective? Because you guys have very powerful perspectives and I do want to share that with the audience.
I would love for you, I would submit for you to go first.
Wow, look at this. Truth about dating that people don't want to hear. Oh my gosh. The truth about dating that people don't want to hear. Ooh. I actually feel like
And
do you mind going for
and
first?
three most
I
and
need to
you
think
see how
about
she
this.
had to come back to the king? You see how it's an order? No, this is spiritual. No.
I love this man. Oh, I love this guy, bro. This guy is killer, bro. This guy, see, this is a guy who you know is a player. He knows exactly what to say. He knows exactly what to do. He knows how to tame a wild woman. She is giving me wild one energy right here. This one right here. He's giving me wild one energy, and he is the wild one tamer. Now, oh my gosh, bro, he is killer, man. He is killer. I love him, man. He's making so much sense. He's been making so much sense this whole time, and I think she's just been crazy the whole time.
Oh, listen, y'all. This is spiritual. I'm not playing. This is. She had to come back. She had to come back because I created the order. I'm an alchemist. I change the energy wherever I go. It's okay. I can be wrong, but I'm righteous right now. I'm not trying to be right. I'm here to be righteous. So check game. To answer your question, the rules ain't the same for everybody in dating. The rules ain't the same. You think Chris Brown, old lady, saying something about him slobbing motherfuckers down on the concert floor? No. The rules ain't the same in dating for everybody. If you got more money, if you got more status, if you got more looks, I get away with more than the ugly nigga that it worked 9 to 5. It is what it is. Why do we have to?
Reality check. Reality check for the woman that wants men to submit.
Pray like we crazy. If you got a bunch of followers on the ground, if you got a bunch of money or a bunch of people know you, the rules are not the same.
Facts.
I land my plane.
Tizia, I'm sorry. Baby girl, go. She's shocked.
I was gonna let this slide, but let me say this. I personally think that even when you're speaking about like your divine order, and I think this is the mishap, right? Because we had a whole bunch of people clapping when he's like, oh, you see how she had to come back to the king. Let me tell you this, sometimes a king know how to shut up. Sometimes a king knows how.
What? Sometimes a king knows when to shut up? What type of king do you know who shuts up? Most kings brag about who they are and all they've accomplished. Yeah, this woman is delusional.
To let his woman have a moment where she's not quite, where she's, hold on though, when she's off her, when she don't really know what's really going on, she hasn't really gathered her words, and guess what, doesn't need an announcement. Okay, it doesn't need you see how you had to come back. And this type of behavior is why a lot of women are rah-rah, a lot of women are being the man, a lot of women are masculine, a lot of women are defensive, because this just interaction where I thought we had created this unity, you took a moment of me needing to pause and think to take over this audience. It's not necessary.
It's not that he needed a moment for you to pause and think to quote unquote take over the audience. It's that you didn't have anything at all. You have no answer when she asked that question. And he realized that you were struggling, and he saved you from looking like a fool. Instead of thanking him for saving you from looking like a fool, you want to act as if you had this profound thing you were coming up with, and he interrupted that. And that's not the case. That is not correct.
It literally, what you just did literally wasn't necessary. And when you say like, see how she had to come back to the king, a king, if we want to go there, is somebody that knows how to actually see like, you know what, she can't quite, she's not having her moment right now. She needs a couple seconds. And I think that it's just the bravado.
I don't understand why she's doing this, bro. This is a woman that has been hurt. This is a woman that needs therapy. She needs to go get some help. Ma'am, go get some help. You're not healed. You have trauma. You need to stop projecting onto men and go get healed. Go get some counseling. This thing that you're doing is a scamming activity. You're scamming other women if you think that you're telling them the truth, because the things you're saying are not how men move. Nor do they associate with how men think. And then on top of that, you're talking about men need to submit to you. Are you okay? Seriously, something is wrong here.
And the verbiage of what you're doing, and it's not
So
cool.
please don't mistake my confidence for arrogance. When I made the king statement, I promise you that I was just playing. Anybody who know my personality knows that. I think even the audience knew I was joking. I'm not here to disrespect you.
I didn't say I don't feel disrespected.
Or
I don't feel
Liar, 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 liar. You are disrespected in your head. You feel disrespected. That's why you disagree. When you disagree with someone, that means you don't agree with their standing point. If you say I don't feel disrespected, but then you go on an offensive and defensive, talking about how men need to submit and how he's interrupting you, that it's signs of being offended. She can't be trusted.
Or disconnect the unity that you know that we created. How about that? Because that's what you
Do
said.
you feel unity?
I did. I felt unity, and I still feel unity. Because
Okay.
see, the biggest sign of unintelligence is that just because we don't agree on one thing, don't mean we can't agree on anything.
I hear
Just
you.
like the biggest sign of another sign of unintelligence is because we do agree on one thing, don't mean we gonna get. We both play tennis. That mean we gonna think alike? No. What I'm saying is that there should not be one thing like that happens to disconnect the unity, because that's operating out of ego and emotion. You can't disrespect me, and you can't get me out of my ego, because I'm not living there. I'm not living in reaction. See, people get passion mixed up with emotion. I'm very passionate because I'm passionate for the truth that I see to be in the world. And you don't have to think like me. They don't have to think like me. I just want people to think. Society has taught people what to think, but they don't teach people how to think. You know, a lot of people.
Do you think that you've made a space for both of our perspectives to exist?
Absolutely. I think the audience would agree. I acquiesced to what you said a number of times, but you wanted to hear me say it in another language. I don't speak Russian, but I can say
Okay, Stevie. I'm gonna pause you right there. Because I love you, Tasia, and I feel the tension, I feel the tension.
I don't feel
No,
tense at all.
Okay.
She stopped it in time because she knew that Tercia, whatever her name is, was getting roasted, dumped, cooked, shredded, and eaten alive by this dominant man. When she's over here trying to dominate a man, how do you dominate a man that's taller than you, smarter than you, stronger than you, and better than you in every metrics when it comes to the comparison analysis of the two of them? Tercia, go ahead and take this L, because you're not gonna win against this man. All the things that you said made no sense, and all the things that he said made a lot of sense.
Okay,
It's love, it's love.
But it's a little bit. We feel
This
it.
good TV though.
I love it. This
It's
is
good
amazing
TV, let's talk.
I do want to know your answer, regardless. Maybe this is a good, maybe this is a good
Yeah.
background to the answer of the one truth in relationships, because I'm sure that when people have relationships, this happens.
Yeah.
Like literally this moment.
So I have a saying that says, never let your heart lead you to a place your eyes haven't seen. And I think that, and I'll say that again, never let your heart lead you to a place your eyes haven't seen. And so what I feel like people, relationship advice that people don't want to actually hear is that you need to have some kind of receipts, some type of evidence, some type of pattern before your heart lands or arrives that somebody is lovable, likable. I hear this all the time when I'm like, oh, well, I just really like him. And I'm like, okay, well, what was it about him? And it's actually an identity that they made up in their head. They have actually no evidence.
The
and so
idea.
I think we live in like this lover girl, lover boy, like hopeless romantic. I'm just gonna run, and I'm like, hey, you gotta get receipts on that. Like before your heart is around the corner, you need to actually have seen that this person has the potential. So I think that there's a little bit of logic in love. So
One question, and we're gonna wrap it up. Come here.
Okay, and then I'm gonna make it brief, right? This for the crowd. Okay. What's going on, y'all? I'm J Mo. What's up, Les? You good?
He was on one of my episodes, by the way.
Bestie was good. Okay, so I heard you say, what did you say again?
never let your heart lead you to a place your eyes haven't seen.
All right, bet. So you believe in God, right?
Absolutely, positively.
All right, bet. When you read the Bible, have you ever seen him in person?
No.
All right, bet. When you read the Bible and God talk to you, he tell you exactly where to go, right? And you follow, right? All right, bet. It's the same thing, and you can't separate man from God, and that's what's going on right now, right? So at the end of the day, what's happening is you saying God send me a man, right, made in your image. But when he send them to you, you second guessing him. So ultimately, you're second guessing God. So do you really believe in God?
With all due respect, I
Woo! He just cooked her, man. Yo, this man cooking her, man. This man cooking her.
think this is like a jump in
No, no, no,
parallel.
no, no. What I'm
No,
saying is because at the end of the day, the baseline of both of those contexts is faith, and either you believe or you don't.
well, I would like to say that I coach thousands of women, and I hold on.
But
if
are
I
you
may,
coaching
if I
them
may,
the right way though?
I have thousands of women that discuss these issues with me on a daily basis. And what I'm saying and what I'm seeing, because I do think that there is science and evidence to dating that people maybe don't want to acknowledge, but the same thing that you're saying, and I'm guessing that you're insinuating that is that you don't have to see it in order to actually believe it. And I just want to personally share with you is like those divorced women that didn't see it, they're in my chat. The women that believed in a man that was building, that was trying to figure it out, that was transitional, that was in and out, that was cheating, that was dishonest, that was not transparent, those women are also in my community. And so I just think that it really just speaks for itself. And I don't think
She's the lost leading the lost. She's the blind leading the blind. She has all these women trying to follow her, but she don't even know what men really needs. She doesn't know how to communicate with men. Didn't women who are professional at communicating with men say that the way to a man's heart is through his stomach? How come she didn't mention that? They asked her what is the dating advice she could give a woman to help her out when it comes to finding a man. She didn't talk about that. She just doesn't have real advice for women. That's just my conclusion. Our advice are either male talking points or over exaggeration of her past.
it's really where I was going with it personally had anything to really do with spirituality.
Not you. I'm just saying like
Right. Yeah.
But also, I think that there's a little piece of that conversation that's missing is that the reality of it is like a man that actually is standing in his truth, he's going to have those receipts. And I don't think that a man, a king, will want you to follow him blindly. So you will be able to see the proof in his work, just as God did as well, right? Like just as Jesus, his disciples, and all of those things, you will be able to see the proof in what they are telling you, right? And so I think that that's like even somebody that has maybe that perspective where it's just like, oh, well, you may not be able to see the love or the intimacy or the connection up front. Like a man, he's going to have the breadcrumbs before you follow.
You're not, but you're
All right,
not.
you guys, we gotta
Damn.
wrap it up. I'm so sorry. We
Man.
gotta wrap it up. Thank you so much. Let's clap it up. Let's give it up. Well, let's take the conversation offline. Thank you.
Man, that lady was the worst. If she's a dating coach, I would not want her services. She's not a good dating coach at all. Everything that she was saying made no sense. All of it was contradictory. And she just kept reinforcing her hurts and pains. She just does not have any mentality to receive what a man is saying. I already know she's the type of woman that would be in a toxic relationship with people, especially men. And she refuses to listen to what men are saying. She does not listen to any of the men that she deals with, and even the men on stage. She's a toxic woman that needs to work on herself because all the points she was making were backwards. All the things she was saying did not make any sense. She was talking as if men are these super player game folk that play women and you have to guard yourself. Like she made no sense whatsoever. And I'm surprised that she has a bunch of women paying for her services and following her. I guess they're probably following her because she's confident, she's probably attractive, and she probably says certain things that women like to hear. So maybe that's why they're following her. But yeah, overall, I think the man made some great points. And I think if she really took the time to listen, maybe she could have learned something. If you're a woman that you're dealing with a man and you're trying to learn how men think, don't watch her. Don't follow her. Watch men-centered content where men actually explain to you the things that men really like and the things that men really want, so that you could start preparing yourself to help that man with that. And in terms of submission, a man should never submit to a woman. A woman should always submit to a man. However, they could work together in cooperation to make a lot of things in the household go smoothly. Man, guys, that's it for today, man. I want to say this: if you like my commentary, if you like my approach to these type of content, follow the channel, like the video, leave a comment below, support the channel as we're growing. And yeah, that's pretty much it for that. We're pushing for 10,000 subscribers. Hopefully we can get there before the end of October. With that being said, I'll see you in the next video.